I love my life. I get paid for doing what I love, and I help other people love their lives and the person that they are. And for most people, this is so simple, but they make it so hard because it all comes down to a permission slip that you give to yourself to start living different. And for a lot of people, this is very, very challenging when they are used to living a way in which everything has to be approached through effort, through force. Today, I'm going to share with you the basics on how I have built the life that I have and the daily routine that I apply in order to sustain an elevated state of consciousness in all of my bodies. My physical body, my emotional body, my electricity body, energy body, and my spiritual body. For most of you high achievers, if you're here, I know it's because you know there's more to life. You know you want to live in a different way. You know that you are born for greatness. You know that you deserve the best. But because you have been conditioned to think that there's a linear path to get there, you don't give yourself a chance to prioritize yourself. There's a guilt and there's a shame to take the time to connect with the right source that is going to allow you to be brighter and bigger in your life. In our physical body, I don't believe that there's someone who can be truly connected spiritually and disconnected from the body, because the body is the vessel for the energy that you are, for that extensive energy field that you carry. And depending on how you're feeling in your body, that's going to interrupt or that's going to allow the flow of the energy inside of you. And as we're going to see later, from that will depend how magnetic you are. In your body, you have a cocktail of chemicals that make you unique. We are closer to AI than we think. Some people say, well, the difference is that AI just reads some patterns and then gives you information. In some aspects, we are the same. Your nervous system is collecting information of what's happening inside of your body, and there's a mix of specific biochemicals and neurotransmitters that send a code that then you interpret as reality. For most of people, they achieve a lot through life using dopamine and cortisol. Dopamine means, yes, I'm driven. Yes, I go for more. Yes, I'm working so hard. Yes, I'm exhausted. Yes, I'm busy all the time. I don't have enough time. That was me. That used to be me. And I used to be so proud of that, of being a workaholic and always, I'm working so hard. And I used to feel so good to say that. And I used to feel, I knew that I wanted to find a way in which I could flow, but it almost felt like unfair. It almost felt like shameful to think that there was an easier way, because I thought and I was taught that everything was through effort and challenges and difficulty. When we combine that dopamine with cortisol, we're always in a state of alertness, looking for the threat around us. So if your body's feeling unsafe, you're going to feel bloated, you're going to experience inflammation and incapacity to digest. And that is not only physical, it's literally that you don't have the capacity to digest the reality that's around you. That's why it's never enough. It's always you going for the next thing and the next thing and thinking that in your effort, there's your worth. Where we want to get you is to the combination of, yes, dopamine, you're going to feel the drive, but you're doing it from a place of connection, oxytocin and serotonin. Oxytocin means I'm connected with everything around me. I feel I'm a part of everything, and I'm a part of a perfect system, and I allow myself to play my role in greatness, in this, like a piece of the puzzle that fits perfectly where I belong for being who I am. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm trying, and I am embodying who I am because I'm so connected to myself through serotonin, through that feeling of I feel good, I love the person that I am, I choose myself every day, that feeling of being home in your own skin, that the best act of devotion to others and to the world is to let your greatness shine. So when we have that cocktail of dopamine with oxytocin and serotonin, you feel a drive. I can tell you, it's like I'm addicted to work. That activates a neuronal pathway that it's called the helper's high. You literally get addicted to work from a place of passion, from a place of, you stop procrastinating because it is so valuable what you have to give to the world that not doing it's impossible. You don't have to push yourself to do the thing that you have been procrastinating for so long. It is the evident inspiration that wants to take action through you. And then when we combine that with endorphins through our practices of meditation and movement and journaling that I'm going to explain to you later, we enter one of the most powerful cocktails of feeling good chemicals in our body. It's almost like an orgasmic state. It is a peak that we experience in the practice that I'm going to share with you. And after we live that practice every day, we have this sustained level of energy throughout the day that lets you in a post-orgasmic state. What do I mean by that? You are totally surrendered. There's nothing you need. You don't need to control. You can trust everything. You are more than enough. And from the place of not needing anything, you get to have it all. You're magnetic. There's nothing that you're attached to. It's almost like an awe, a type of experience. You feel like you're shining in your eyes, in your skin, and you're in love with yourself and in love with the world. So when we let our body feel that way, then we can process better emotions and we go to our emotional body. This we can understand by the levels of consciousness by Hawkins, where you can see that below 200, and I have explained this to you in another video, but Hawkins decided and proved that all the emotions have a certain level of frequency through an electromagnetic field. And the higher you are, the more that you are in power, and the lower you are, the more that you are in force. The level 200 is the middle, where you are in neutrality and acceptance. Below neutrality and acceptance, when you're fighting with the world, when you are trying to force, when you're in grief, when you're in shame, you're close. It's almost like you're attached to an anchor that is bringing you down. When you are in neutrality and then in acceptance, in gratitude, in awe, in love, in peace, you are propelling yourself in a way in which you don't feel stagnation and you're not in hyperactivity. You enter a flow state. And entering a flow state is almost like you have a surfing board in a wave that it's taking you way farther with less effort. Once you are grounded in acceptance, and this is what we practice again in our routine, you welcome everything as an observant. You can allow everything to be without trying to control it as a mirror or as a key. Who's this person letting me see myself as? What version of myself is this situation opening? What version of myself, what parts of myself am I entering through this job, through this opportunity, through this fear that I'm experiencing? So the more that you can let go and that you can let emotions be experienced as guests without identifying with it, the easier you're going to go to the higher levels of consciousness. And in the highest level of consciousness, that's where you start experiencing synchronicity, where things happen for you, where you become so magnetic. And it is the difference between you being identified with emotion, saying, I'm so fearful, to say, I am experiencing fear. One is identity, so of course you're attached to it, but the other one is experience as a visitor. Well, if I have the fear, which in Spanish we say I have fear, then I can also let go of it because it doesn't belong to me. It's almost like something that is borrowed to come and teach me a lesson, and then I can let go of it. That is in our emotional body. But then we go to our electrical body. And all of these, you're going to see that this is only for you to understand in your mind so that you can let yourself experience it, because it makes sense that you slow down. It makes sense that you're not stressed anymore. Scientifically, it is proven that the best investment in your energy is to enter in flow instead of being stressed and having this strategy and forcing yourself to do things. I know that it has been challenging for you to slow down. I know that you feel shame and guilt for prioritizing yourself. So I am explaining to you that it is proven, it is science, it is mathematics. It is the quantum field that shows you that the best thing that you can do is to prioritize yourself. When we go to the energy field, we have different brain waves, and these brain waves are experienced in different frequencies. We have beta, which is the way in which your neurons connect and exchange information moves in a certain rhythm, and depending on the rhythm of the cycles, you enter a different frequency, almost like if you were tuning yourself in a radio station. When you are in beta, you are in overdrive. You are executing, but you are always, it's almost like automatic sense. You are doing the next thing and you're always busy, and you are so invested on the urgent that you don't have mental space or electrical space to connect with what's important. Then we have a bridge that is alpha, where you start to have more awareness and acceptance of what's happening around you, but where we really want to go is to theta and delta. In theta, you are in a state of receiving. I always say that it's almost like you have your higher self on the phone, but you are receiving instructions and acting on this realm. When you enter theta, you enter the space where artists, CEOs, leaders say that they connect to have their best ideas. You enter theta is the state of flow, is the state of feeling good in your body, is the post-orgasmic state, is the same state than being above 200. That is the place where you feel so tapped in and so connected that you cannot deny it. It's like life is experienced through you. And when you start experiencing life from this space, I wish I could describe to you, but words are not enough. I go to bed every night excited for my routine the next day. I see with wonder the world. I feel gratitude. I feel this is what gives sense to my life. It's a feeling of being in love with life. Is a level of data that you are downloading day to day. It's like you have cracked the source code of your program. And it is true, if you see something in your computer that you don't like, you might try to change it by writing over it, by erasing it, by painting the screen, but you know that the only way to change that what you're seeing in the screen is to go in the source code and have an upgrade. That's what we do when we enter that theta state, and that is very connected with the flow of our energy centers, for some people called chakra, and very connected with the pyramid of human needs. Instead of you being in survival, when you're in theta, you are in a state of self-transcendence. You are in a state in which you want to share. You're in a state of connection, in an aliveness state where you can flavor life and live differently. Now, how do we enter that state? I'm giving you the basics in how to crack the code, how to biohack yourself to experience life in a different way. And maybe for some of you, okay, that makes sense in the mind, that have heard that before. You maybe understand it from the mind, but if you're not prioritizing it right now, let me tell you that you don't know it. You haven't experienced what it means to be in the zone yet. Because when you experience the field, when you enter the void, when you have your heart expanded in a way that you cannot control, When your electromagnetic field, which I mean your neurons are connected in a way that you almost feel like radioactive, then you know that's the way in which you get to live life. And what happens is that your neurons are not only in your brain, there are neurons in your heart and there are neurons in your gut. You have three control centers, and around the heart, those connections between your neurons create the most expansive electromagnetic field. So now imagine you have this amazing biochemistry that allows the energy to flow through you. You are experiencing elevated emotions, so you are in a state of flow, and you are in theta frequency, which allows you to recalibrate the rhythm of the energy that's vibrating in you. Let me tell you, that heart that you have, it's emanating light in a way that you cannot help but to smile. You can't help but to want to connect with people, and honestly, people will stop you in the streets and it's like, what are you doing? Give me a little bit of that. You don't have to convince people to buy from you. You don't have to force things to happen in your life. It's your electromagnetic field. It's so potent and so magnetic that attracts to you everything that you want. So because I know that my greatest asset is my frequency, I prioritize my energy. And for the longest time, I was taught that it was in the way, and I come from a consultant and I come from a workaholic world. But when I realized that, the more I enter in the flow, the more I feel myself, the more I enjoy life, and the better results that I have, there's no way I'm negotiating it or living in a different way anymore. And this is how I'm going to share with you my routine, how I apply it to my life, and how my students in the mentorship apply it as well. We have different types of elements that we include as a lifestyle. Remember, this is not something that you do one day, a therapy that you did one day, a ceremony that you went to. This is life. Life is going to become your playground. So we start by meditation. Through meditation, we have three different types of meditation. The first one is deep meditation, in which you reprogram your mind through theta binaural waves. And we have a specific protocol to enter into that space. You know, when you're upgrading, if you download a new app, you don't need to turn off the phone. But when you're upgrading a new system, you have to turn off the phone because the change is happening in the deep core. That is what happens with the deep meditation. There are studies from the Monroe Institute, from Silva, that reshape through neuroplasticity your identity. So we do a meditation where you rewire the idea that you have for yourself, and that happens to theta brain waves, theta, delta, gamma. Then we have the meditation of the heart, which happens throughout the day. Whenever you're feeling you're disconnected from that field, when you experience what it is to be in the field, in the zone, you know exactly when you're coming out of it. But then we have the meditation of the heart. It's a different type of frequency, and throughout the day, every time that we feel out of center, we close our eyes and we go back to it. We go deeper into it, and then we practice those elevated emotions. So in the scale of consciousness, you're going from below 200 to acceptance and love and joy. You are having ownership and being in charge of the emotions as they come. Then we have the meditation after the workout, and this is a very powerful one, because during the workout we are activating our biochemistry, the endorphins, the serotonin, the oxytocin, the dopamine. You do your workout in a way in which you are so present that each movement you're feeling it and breathing through it. That is the state that we want. We want that sense of pleasure in each movement, that aliveness. Is each movement in your workout is almost like a devotion to this beautiful body that is the vessel for the person that you are. And then when we're done with the workout, we go into a specific meditation to activate your Kundalini energy and to let all that energy that you activated during the workout be focused in the direction of your intention. That is where most of my students manifest and create the reality that they want, because it's almost like deactivate this ball of energy, and then they direct it to the vision of what they want, and miracles happen. It's almost like they're connected to the right source and they have a supercar, but what matters the most is that it's going in the direction that you want. And that's what we do by this meditation. Then we have movement, specifically the workout, just as I shared with you, being very present. Flow state walks. Every day we go on a walk as a practice of meeting yourself. It can be listening a podcast, it can be recording your own voice. It is a practice. It can be having a meeting instead of having it at home, instead of having it at the office. You go for a walk, and this allows your perspective and your RAM to expand. This gives you perspective every day. It doesn't matter how far it is. It is the shift of environment that you create, and this is the space in which you recalibrate the energy that you have available. Your ideas come from a different place because you change the state, and you are also bringing oxygen into your blood. And then we also have dancing and movement, which is how can you connect with your body in a way in which you literally get high on life itself. It's this presence, it's this enjoying the songs that you love the most. How can you give yourself once a day a piece of the cake that makes your life better? And it's in that movement, it's in that reconciliation. Imagine that you with yourself have a romantic relationship, and in that romantic relationship you're curious to get to know you, you're prioritizing yourself, you're falling in love with yourself, and you're almost like intrigued by your thoughts, your desires. You get so tuned into your own intuition that there's no way you don't follow it. It's going to be so clear that for me, when I see people procrastinating, I know that they're not truly in the zone, because when you are, you find your truth and you cannot lie to yourself anymore. That space between inspiration and action closes, because it's almost like the action pulls you forward, because you are already the person that can take that action. Then we also have journaling as a way to untangle your thoughts, and we extend that into personal brand. And you can admit it or not, but I know that for every single person that's truly inspired and tapped in, there is a desire to share a message. There is a desire to lead other people. There is a desire to share your gifts. So we use our personal brand and we use our work as a vehicle of self-development. How am I becoming more of who I am through this, what I'm doing? For me, it's literally, I love meditating. I love doing my routine. I love exploring the subconscious mind in mystical states and altered states of the mind. My experiences have been seeing colors, leaving my body, experiencing reality in a way that blows my mind. And I literally found a way and created a business in which I get paid to do what I love the most. And I invite people to come do it with me and implement it in their own lives, so that my work is a vehicle to become more of who I am. And that's exactly what I want for you. And that is an expression and a part of the framework that we're speaking about, because the more that you're working inside yourself, you're feeling great in your body, you're feeling great in your energy, the outcome of that is that, of course, you're going to be connected with your purpose. And even it doesn't matter if you have classical office, if you have your own business in a different realm, your business will always become the space that allows you the most to experience yourself in your greatness. Same as relationships, same as places. We're seeing everything as a vehicle of full self-expression. We're seeing everything that comes our way as an opportunity to become more of who we are. So when we connect and we create a routine that feels flowy, that feels good. When we shift the priority of our life to prioritize the frequency, prioritize the biochemistry, and prioritize the electricity that you emanate, that is the moment in which you experience a reality beyond your ideas, and especially when you meet other people that are also in the same path. So start practicing this right now. There are some playlists that will help you do this. You can find me on Instagram as @elizabethramirez.co and DM me mentorship to know more about this process.